Buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal could completely upend everything you thought you knew about XRP and the Ripple ecosystem. Prepare for shock, because the mainstream media is either asleep at the wheel or deliberately hiding this, and only those paying attention right now will see the full picture. Imagine a scenario where the SEC, BlackRock, and even the IMF are indirectly influencing moves that could send XRP soaring or triggering chaos in the crypto markets. Sounds insane? It isn't. This changes everything, and if you blink, you will miss the moment that could define the next decade of digital finance. Now, before we dive deeper, if you want to position yourself ahead of these institutional maneuvers, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because what's coming next isn't speculation. It's inside-level insight that few will ever see. Let's get brutally honest. XRP is no longer just a cryptocurrency. It's a battlefield where governments, megabanks, and shadow financial players are quietly jockeying for control. And one recent development has the potential to rewrite the rules entirely. We're talking moves that could make or break fortunes overnight. And yes, the whispers from Wall Street giants like JP Morgan and Citibank are loud enough to shake the crypto ecosystem, yet you won't hear a word of it on CNBC or Bloomberg. Are you ready to see the evidence they're desperate to hide? This isn't fear-mongering, it's reality. Something huge has just emerged, a development so shocking that it has even veteran Ripple watchers questioning what they thought was certain. XRP insiders are reporting activity that hints at a broader integration into global financial corridors, possibly influenced by central banking decisions. And yes, this could set the stage for a massive price explosion. But the kicker is, the majority of retail investors are completely oblivious. The signals are subtle, hidden in regulatory filings, large wallet movements, and partnerships that are flying under the radar. But we're peeling back the curtain, right here, right now. Are you going to sit on the sidelines as history unfolds? Or are you going to understand the moves before the institutions make them public? The next few minutes could literally change your financial trajectory. So stay with me, pay attention, and remember, timing is everything. And in the world of Ripple and XRP, a few hours can make the difference between a small gain and a generational opportunity. Prepare yourself, because the insider intel I'm about to reveal is not just a story, it's a blueprint for what's coming next, and once you see it, there's no going back to ignorance. Let's dive in deeper, because this is where things get extremely tangible and where the insiders separate themselves from the amateurs. Look at the data. XRP wallets controlled by institutional players have been moving in patterns that almost scream coordination. We're not talking about random whale trades. We're talking movements that line up perfectly with Ripple's known partnerships and strategic objectives. Movements that even mainstream crypto analysts are missing because they aren't connecting the dots. BlackRock has been publicly hinting at expanding its crypto exposure, and insiders suggest XRP could be a core part of that strategy, potentially tied to their massive cross-border settlement ambitions. Meanwhile, Ripple's own filings show a pattern of escrow releases timed in a way that could create controlled supply shocks. And guess what? This aligns perfectly with rumors about secretive integration talks with major banks in Asia and Europe. You see, while retail traders are panicking about volatility, these players are quietly positioning themselves to profit on a scale most people can't even imagine. Let's not forget the SEC. They might seem like an obstacle, but in reality, Ripple's recent legal maneuvering and their partial victories could signal that regulatory barriers are about to shift dramatically, opening the door to mainstream adoption like we've never seen. Add in the IMF's growing support for digital assets and cross-border settlements, and you suddenly realize that XRP isn't just another altcoin, it's a potential backbone for institutional liquidity corridors. Ask yourself this. Why are these whales moving now? And why are these legal victories coinciding with spikes in strategic wallet activity? The answer is glaringly obvious if you look at it carefully, and once you do, the implications are massive. Prepare for the kind of price movements that make traditional market crashes look like minor blips, because all the signals, the wallets, the filings, the regulatory shifts are converging on a single point. And yes, if you're watching this, you are seeing it before 99% of the retail crowd ever will. This isn't hype. This is pattern recognition at the institutional level, and missing it could be catastrophic. Every movement, every press release, every subtle statement from Ripple executives like Brad Garlinghouse is part of a much bigger puzzle. And once you start fitting the pieces together, the picture is shocking, almost conspiratorial in its scale. Remember, knowledge is power, but actionable insight is wealth. And right now, you're getting a glimpse of both. Now, let's talk about the catalyst, the very spark that could ignite XRP into the stratosphere. And trust me, this is where things get absolutely mind-blowing. Recent developments suggest a massive coordinated push is imminent, something the mainstream will frame as normal market behavior. But insiders know better. The FUD circulating around Ripple, regulatory uncertainty, SEC pressure, price dips, has always been a smokescreen, a distraction carefully orchestrated to keep retail traders nervous while institutions quietly accumulate. Ask yourself, why does the same narrative keep repeating? Why do we see these spikes in negative news precisely when institutional wallets are swelling? It's no coincidence. And here's the kicker. Sources close to Ripple hint that a high-level announcement involving major banking partners could be just weeks away. A move so strategic it would effectively make XRP the preferred bridge asset for global settlements. Imagine cross-border transfers between Europe, Asia, and the Americas suddenly running on RippleNet, backed indirectly by banks like HSBC and BNP Paribas, with liquidity potentially orchestrated alongside heavyweights like Citadel and Fidelity. This is not theory. These are the breadcrumbs that only insiders are piecing together. And yes, the SEC's recent delays and quiet concessions could be signaling that the legal fog is lifting, meaning XRP could go from regulated uncertainty to trusted institutional asset almost overnight. The FUD, you see, is designed to keep people fearful, hesitant, and out of the market just as the institutional players load up, preparing for a move that could dwarf anything we've seen before. Prepare for shock. This isn't just a rally. It could be a structural reset for how liquidity flows in the digital finance ecosystem, and XRP is at the center. The question isn't whether this will happen, it's when. And if you don't position yourself now, you risk missing what could be the defining financial moment of your lifetime. Every skeptical headline, every media narrative, every influencer claiming XRP is doomed is essentially a warning sign for smart investors. This is exactly when you pay attention, exactly when you accumulate, exactly when you act. The convergence of regulatory clarity, institutional accumulation, and high-profile partnerships is so precise it's almost conspiratorial, and that precision is what makes this the most compelling opportunity in crypto right now. The market doesn't usually give warnings like this. When it does, it's either a trap or a signal. In this case, all the signals are screaming, and only those who are watching closely are going to see the trajectory before the explosion hits. Now let's get brutally real about price justification, because this is where the rubber meets the road and where the skeptics are about to be silenced. If you analyze the combination of institutional wallet accumulation, escrow releases, and anticipated partnerships, the math doesn't lie. XRP is positioned for a move that could dwarf its previous all-time highs. This isn't some vague speculation. It's an extrapolation based on tangible, verifiable data that Wall Street analysts are quietly modeling behind closed doors. BlackRock, Fidelity, and even UBS have been signaling through indirect channels that they are preparing for massive crypto inflows. And XRP fits perfectly as a bridge asset in this emerging global financial infrastructure. Now, imagine a scenario where cross-border settlements increasingly rely on RippleNet, where liquidity corridors are optimized by institutional capital, and where regulatory clarity removes the lingering fear of SEC intervention. What does that do to supply and demand? It creates scarcity in a controlled market where demand is skyrocketing, but only for those who understand the timing. And make no mistake, timing is everything here. This isn't just hype. It's the blueprint of a potential multi-year bull cycle that could transform XRP from a misunderstood altcoin into a foundational piece of global finance. But here's the stark warning. The market is volatile, and the window to act before institutional moves are fully priced in is narrowing fast. If you hesitate, you risk watching from the sidelines as others capitalize on moves that could redefine your financial expectations. This is the defining moment for those willing to recognize signals before they hit mainstream awareness. Prepare for shock. The next major price action could arrive suddenly, and when it does, FOMO will be absolute. Retail panic selling will collide with institutional accumulation, creating a pressure cooker scenario that could explode into unprecedented gains for those positioned correctly. You need to be alert, strategic, and ready to act, because once the market fully internalizes these catalysts, the opportunity isn't coming back. Remember, this is about more than just a trade. It's about positioning yourself on the right side of history in a market that is about to shift from speculative chaos to calculated institutional dominance. Every wallet movement, every regulatory nuance, every strategic partnership matters. And ignoring them now is risking more than missed profits. It's risking the chance to be part of a defining era in digital finance. The clock is ticking, the signals are flashing, and XRP is at the center of a storm that few are prepared to navigate. Act decisively, because hesitation is the enemy, and informed action is the only path to winning in this unprecedented moment. Here's the conclusion. And let me be clear, this is where everything crystallizes. You now know what the mainstream won't tell you. XRP is not just another crypto asset. It's at the epicenter of a coordinated, high-stakes convergence of institutional strategy, regulatory clarity, and global financial evolution. The wallets, the filings, the subtle moves by BlackRock, Fidelity, and even whispers from central banks. They all point to one unavoidable truth. A massive shift is coming, and the early insiders who understand the signals are going to reap the rewards. The FUD? Ignore it. It's the smokescreen masking a storm of opportunity. The legal battles? Part of the groundwork for institutional adoption. The price potential? Explosive, verifiable, and imminent if you read the patterns correctly. Now is not the time to wait, to speculate, or to follow the herd. It's the time to position, to analyze, to act decisively with eyes wide open. XRP is on the verge of a transformation that could redefine cross-border finance, rewrite narratives about crypto legitimacy, and create fortunes for those who anticipate the moves before they hit headlines. Remember, the clock is relentless. The signals are real, and history is favoring the prepared. You've seen the breadcrumbs, connected the dots, and now you have the roadmap. It's your choice to act, or to watch as others capitalize on a once-in-a-generation convergence. This is the moment. The moment to be informed, the moment to be strategic, the moment to be ahead of the crowd. XRP's next chapter is being written now, and if you follow the signals I've laid out, you won't just witness history, you'll be a part of it.